Ladies and gentlemen, there is a force in this world that many underestimate. It is quite unseen and often overlooked. But this force is unstoppable. It is the power of a woman who heals in private. Yes, she has walked through storms. She has faced pain that no one else witnessed. She has endured battles that never made it to the headlines of life. But in the quiet moments, in the stillness of her heart, she healed. She mended her spirit. She repaired what was broken and fortified what was weak. Healing in private is not just recovery, it is preparation. Every tear she wiped away alone. Every night she prayed without an audience. Every hurt she forgave in silence. These became the secret armor that makes her unshakable. While the world was watching others fight and speak, she was building a foundation of strength, resilience, and wisdom that cannot be challenged. A woman who heals in private eventually rules in public. Her authority is not loud because it does not need to be. Her voice commands respect because it carries experience. Her actions move mountains because they are rooted in understanding. She doesn't seek approval. She has already earned her place. She doesn't need to prove her worth. Her results speak for themselves. This woman is strategic, disciplined, and focused. She knows that true power comes not from being seen, but from being prepared. She understands that every setback was a setup, every struggle a stepping stone, every silent prayer a blueprint for her destiny. So when she steps into the public eye, she does not stumble, she does not fall, she does not doubt. As she rules, not because she desires dominance, but because she has become a vessel of wisdom, strength, and discernment that others naturally gravitate toward. She rules with grace, with courage, and with authority because her private victories shaped her public triumphs. To all the women listening today, never underestimate your private healing. Never belittle the quiet work you are doing behind closed doors. Every time you pray alone, forgive in silence, grow in obscurity, you are preparing yourself for public impact. Your time to rule, to lead, to influence, to inspire is coming. And when it does, the world will see not just your power, but the depth of your journey. And they will respect it because it is authentic, earned, and unshakable. The world does not always notice the healing, but it cannot ignore the ruling. Heal in private, prepare in secrecy, step into the light when your moment arrives, because a woman who heals in private inevitably rules in public. There is a mysterious and often overlooked power in the act of healing in private. It is quiet, it is unseen, it is unnoticed by the world. It is absolutely transformative. Healing in private is not weakness, it is the mark of a woman, or anyone, for that matter, who understands that true strength begins behind closed doors. It is the hidden work that shapes destiny, the silent labor that equips a person for greatness, and the invisible fire that prepares someone to step into a public life of influence, authority, and impact. When you heal in private, you are preparing for more than just survival. You are preparing for triumph. You are laying the foundation for your public victories while the world thinks you are idle, vulnerable, or even defeated. Every tear you shed in silence, every prayer you whisper when no one is listening, every hurt you process alone is a brick in the building of your personal empire. These moments of private reflection and inner work shape the character, resilience, and wisdom that the world cannot replicate. The storms you endured, the heartaches you survived, the betrayals you forgave quietly, and the disappointments you turned into lessons. All of these are your preparation. While others seek quick fixes, loud victories, or public recognition, you are doing the work that matters most. You are restoring your spirit, sharpening your mind, and strengthening your heart. Healing in private is not about hiding. It is about honoring the process and trusting that God, destiny, or life itself sees the unseen labor you are putting in. Every challenge you face became a tutor. Every failure became a lesson. Every moment of silence became a training ground for endurance. When you heal in private, you are practicing patience. You are learning to trust timing over immediate gratification. You are learning that the depth of your future success is directly related to the depth of your healing today. Many people rush to the spotlight, seeking validation, attention, or accolades, but they are not ready. Their wounds have not been tended, their hearts have not been mended, and their spirits have not been fortified. You, however, are preparing quietly and intentionally. Healing in private is also a declaration of self-respect. It is saying, I am not willing to let my pain define me. I am not willing to let my scars dictate my story. I will honor the process of becoming whole again. I will do it on my terms. There's a kind of power in this that cannot be taught in schools, cannot be bought in stores, cannot be imitated by anyone else. It is a power that comes from authenticity, from discipline, and from the courage to face yourself in the mirror when no one else is watching. Think about the seasons of your life when you were hurt the most. Were those the moments when you were weak? Or were they the moments when you were actually growing stronger, but quietly? Healing in private requires vulnerability without exposure. It requires the bravery to face your fears, your failures, and your pain alone. And yet, paradoxically, it produces the kind of confidence and inner authority that others can sense, even if they do not know the story behind it. This is why those who heal in private eventually shine in public. They carry a depth, a calm, and a strength that cannot be faked. There is also a spiritual dimension to healing in private. While the world is busy seeking external solutions, temporary fixes, and instant gratification, private healing allows you to connect with your inner self, your purpose, and your creator. If you are spiritual, it is a time to ask the difficult questions. Why did this happen? What am I meant to learn? How can I rise stronger from this pain? These reflections are not mere exercises. They are the groundwork for divine alignment and life-changing breakthroughs. The woman or man who heals in private is not waiting for the world to tell them they are ready. And care enough, they are readying themselves for the moment when the world cannot ignore their impact. Another critical aspect of healing in private is that it builds resilience. Life will test you, and it will test you publicly. But the foundation you lay in solitude becomes your armor in public battles. When the storms of life hit, you will not be easily shaken. When criticism comes, you will not crumble. When opposition rises, you will not be intimidated. Private healing equips you with a resilience that is invisible to others but indestructible in reality. It allows you to move forward with clarity and conviction, even when no one is standing beside you. Moreover, healing in private teaches discernment. You begin to recognize who and what deserves your time, your energy, your love. You stop seeking validation from people who cannot see your worth. You learn that your growth is personal. Timing of your breakthrough is not dictated by anyone else's agenda. The quiet work of self-healing cultivates wisdom. It trains you to act, speak, lead from a place of strength rather than desperation. You become someone whose decisions are rooted in understanding, not impulse, whose actions are guided by experience, not fear. Healing in private also cultivates humility and gratitude. In the silence, you learn to value the small victories. You recognize the beauty in progress, not perfection. You appreciate the lessons in pain, the blessings hidden in struggle, and the growth that comes from perseverance. This humility strengthens your character, ensuring that when your moment in the spotlight arrives, you will lead not with arrogance, but with empathy, wisdom, and authority. Finally, healing in private is preparation for influence. The woman who heals in private may appear calm, quiet, or even ordinary at first glance. When she steps into public, she commands respect because her strength has been tested and refined. Her power is not loud because it does not need to be. Her voice carries weight because it has been seasoned by experience. Her actions create results because they are rooted in preparation. World cannot give you influence, preparation earns it. The unseen work of healing in private becomes the visible proof of excellence in public. Do not underestimate the seasons of private healing in your life. Do not despise the nights of solitude, the tears shed in secret, or the challenges faced alone. These are the seasons that prepare you for greatness. Every moment of pain is being transformed into wisdom. Every tear becomes a lesson. Every silent prayer becomes a blueprint for your destiny. Healing in private is preparation, and preparation is the key to ruling your life with authority, confidence, and purpose. The world may not see your process, but it will witness your results. Heal in private, prepare in obscurity. Strengthen yourself in solitude. And when your moment comes to lead, to inspire, to influence, and to triumph, the world will bow to the power you quietly built. The woman who heals in private does not just survive, she rules. And the journey begins with a choice to honor the hidden work of preparation, knowing that your best life, your greatest impact, and your divine purpose await on the other side of healing. There is a truth in life that many overlook. The victories you achieve in private are the very victories that determine your authority in public. Yes, authority. True authority is not born out of loud words, flashy displays, or public recognition. Authority is forged in silence, shaped in struggle, and cemented in those moments where no one is watching. Everything depends on your resolve. Private victories are the unseen victories that shape character, sharpen wisdom, prepare you to walk boldly into a world that is not always kind, but always observant of genuine strength. Think about the moments you have conquered your fears without applause. Think about the nights when you whispered prayers in secret while the world slept. Think about the times you made hard decisions that nobody applauded, choices that tested your integrity, patience, and faith. These are the victories that truly matter because they are the victories that cannot be taken away. They are the victories that build authority that commands respect. You see, public authority is not simply the position you hold, the title on a door, or the attention you garner. It is the power you carry, the weight of experience, the depth of understanding, confidence that comes from knowing you have already won battles others cannot see. Every private victory, every silent triumph adds to this weight. Every challenge you face alone, every obstacle you overcome when no one is watching becomes part of the foundation that makes you unshakable. Consider the woman who endured betrayal in silence but chose forgiveness over bitterness. That forgiveness, that inner triumph, becomes authority when she steps into public spaces. People sense it. They respect it. They are drawn to it. She does not need to boast or announce her past victories because the authority she carries is evident in her presence, her poise, and her decision-making. Private triumphs give her a calm assurance, a wisdom that cannot be bought or faked. Private victories also teach patience. When you work in silence, when you overcome your personal struggles without the need for recognition, you learn that life is not a race for attention, but a journey for mastery. You discover that timing matters. You learn to value progress over perfection. You understand that authority is not inherited, requested, demanded, it is earned. The victories you achieve in private prepare you to walk confidently into spaces where leadership, respect, and influence are required. Without this preparation, public roles can be overwhelming, empty, and fleeting. Another critical aspect of private victories is resilience. Life will test you, but private victories ensure that you are ready when the public test comes. Every setback you faced in obscurity, every moment you pushed yourself when others doubted you, every time you chose courage over comfort, builds resilience that the world cannot see, but cannot ignore either. This resilience allows you to handle criticism, opposition, and pressure with grace and authority. You are not shaken because your victories have already trained you to stand firm when it matters most. Private victories also develop integrity. Integrity is the hallmark of authority. When you succeed in secret without seeking approval or applause, you learn to do what is right even when it is hard. You learn to stay true to your values, your principles, and your purpose. And when the world finally witnesses your authority, they see someone who acts not for show, but out of a deep-rooted commitment to truth and excellence. Integrity earned in private gives legitimacy to your influence in public. People trust authority that is grounded in authenticity, not performance. In addition, private victories cultivate humility. While the world may rush to flaunt success, the person who conquers in private understands the value of quiet triumph. They know the power of restraint, the importance of preparation, and the beauty of unseen progress. Humility allows authority to be exercised with wisdom, empathy, and fairness. When private victories build your strength, public authority is exercised not with arrogance or pride, but with discernment, compassion, strategic insight. People follow someone who is confident yet humble, strong yet approachable, and victorious yet teachable. The spiritual dimension of private victories cannot be overlooked. Many of these victories are not just personal, but divine in nature. Healing, perseverance, forgiveness, and endurance. These are not merely human accomplishments. They are spiritual triumphs that align you with your destiny. When you conquer private battles with faith, prayer, and inner conviction, you step into public authority with a power that is greater than any worldly recognition. You walk in alignment with purpose, and your authority resonates beyond your personal presence, affecting others in ways you may never fully understand. Private victories also teach discernment in relationships and alliances. You learn who truly supports you, who is trustworthy, and who will challenge you for your growth. You learn to value substance over appearance, to recognize potential over popularity, to prioritize those who add value to your journey. This discernment honed in private ensures that when you enter positions of influence, your authority is not wasted on the wrong people or shallow pursuits. You lead with clarity, vision, strategy, because your victories in obscurity have prepared you for the weight of responsibility. Lastly, private victories create legacy. Every choice you make in private, every struggle you overcome, every fear you conquer, and every personal growth moment is a seed planted for future impact. Public authority is not just about the present, it is about the ripple effects that your leadership and example will have on generations to come. Those private victories determine the depth, authenticity, and sustainability of the authority you exercise in public. People remember not just what you did, but who you became in the process. Do not despise your private victories. Do not belittle the work you are doing behind closed doors. Every quiet triumph, every moment of self-discipline, every struggle endured in silence is building your public authority. You may not see the immediate reward, and the world may not recognize your effort yet. Every victory in privacy strengthens, prepares, and equips you to stand boldly in the public arena. The loudest voices in the room are not always the most authoritative. Authority comes from depth, experience, integrity, resilience, and wisdom, all of which are nurtured through private victories. Honor your journey, embrace your process, trust that your private victories are laying the foundation for public impact. When the moment comes for you to lead, to inspire, to influence, to leave a mark on the world, your authority will not be questioned. Your presence will command respect. Your words will carry weight. Your decisions will shape outcomes. And it all began in the quiet, unseen moments, the victories no one witnessed but you. And that, my friends, is where true power is born. Heal, fight, grow, and conquer in private. Build your strength quietly, win your battles silently. And when it is time to step into the public arena, the world will see not just a leader. They will see a woman or man whose authority was earned in the shadows, whose wisdom was forged in struggle, and whose impact will be felt for generations. There is a power in silence that the world rarely understands. In a culture that values noise, attention, and constant display, silence is often mistaken for weakness. But the truth is far from it. Silence is not emptiness, it is preparation. Silence is not surrender, it is strategy. Silence is not passivity, it is power. The woman or the person who understands the value of silence knows that words spoken too soon, reactions given in haste, or battles fought publicly can diminish authority. Power is cultivated in the quiet, in the moments when no one is watching, and in the spaces where thought, reflection, and strategy converge. Silence is the arena in which the strongest battles are fought. Every time you resist the urge to respond in anger, every time you pause before speaking, every time you sit in reflection instead of rushing to react, you are exercising discipline. This discipline is power. The world may rush to speak, to react, to demand attention, but the one who masters silence holds the advantage. Silence allows clarity. Silence allows perspective. Silence allows the mind to separate truth from rumor, reality from illusion, and intention from distraction. Consider the power of restraint. The person who speaks every thought aloud is vulnerable, exposed, and easily manipulated. But the one who remains silent strategically holds the upper hand. Silence creates mystery. It forces others to pay attention, to respect boundaries, and to recognize that not every matter is meant to be aired publicly. It builds anticipation. It builds respect. It builds authority. The silent person is often underestimated, but that underestimation becomes their greatest advantage. Silence is also the ground of self-mastery. When you practice silence, you learn to master your emotions, control your reaction, and strengthen your inner resolve. It is in the silent moments that character is forged. It is in the quiet spaces that courage grows. It is in the reflective pauses that wisdom is birthed. Every time you refrain from unnecessary conversation, gossip, or conflict, exercising the muscle of self-control, a muscle that is essential for leadership, influence, and long-term success. Spiritual and emotional power also reside in silence. In moments of prayer, meditation, and reflection, silence becomes sacred. It is where the heart speaks to the soul. It is where guidance, clarity, and revelation emerge. Person who understands silence recognizes that not all battles need to be fought with words. Some battles are won quietly with patience, discernment, and faith. By embracing silence, you align yourself with a deeper truth, a truth that prepares you for authority, influence, and life-changing decisions. There is a strategic component to silence that cannot be ignored. In conflict and negotiation, in leadership, silence often speaks louder than words. The one who remains calm, composed, and silent in the face of provocation exerts a form of control that is invisible but undeniable. Silence communicates strength, confidence, and intentionality. It shows others that you are not easily swayed, not impulsive, and not desperate for attention. The world respects power that is quiet but undeniable. Silence also protects energy. Every word we speak consumes energy. Not every word is worth the cost. By choosing silence, you conserve your strength for what truly matters. You avoid unnecessary conflicts, emotional drains, distractions that could derail your purpose. The person who values silence does not waste their influence on trivial matters. Instead, they invest their time, energy, and words where they can create maximum impact. This selectivity is a hallmark of power. Another profound aspect of silence is discernment. The silent person observes more than they speak. They notice patterns, motives, and opportunities that others miss. Silence provides the space to analyze, to plan, and to act with precision. It allows the mind to process information thoroughly without the distortion of impulsive reactions. Those who rush to speak without thinking often regret it. Those who embrace silence gain insight that leads to victory, influence, and authority. Silence also fosters resilience. Life will challenge you, test your patience, and provoke you to react impulsively. The one who practices silence can endure these tests with grace. They can maintain composure in the face of adversity, rising above petty disputes and distractions. Silence becomes armor. It shields the spirit from unnecessary stress and fortifies the mind against emotional upheaval. The power of silence is the power to remain steady when chaos surrounds you, to be unmoved when others panic, and to act decisively when the time is right. Moreover, silence teaches humility and perspective. It reminds you that not everything needs to be discussed, debated, or announced. The quiet moments allow you to evaluate your true priorities, to reflect on your progress, and to align your actions with your long-term goals. Silence is not passive, it is intentional. It allows you to grow internally, to develop resilience, to prepare for opportunities that the world may not even see coming. Person who masters silence knows that timing is everything, and that word spoken prematurely can undo months of preparation. Finally, silence builds authority and influence. The one who has mastered the art of silence does not need to shout, boast, or seek validation. Their presence alone communicates power. Their actions, carefully measured and intentional, command respect. People are drawn to them not because they are loud, because they are deliberate. Their silence speaks volumes. It communicates confidence, discernment, and mastery. The authority that emerges from silence is enduring because it is rooted in experience, wisdom, and self-control, not in the fleeting applause of the crowd. So, to everyone listening today, do not underestimate the power of silence. Do not rush to react. Do not feel compelled to explain, defend, or justify every action. There is power in restraint, strength in reflection, and authority in patience. Embrace silence as a tool for growth, preparation, and strategic advantage. Honor your quiet victories, your private reflections, and the moments of solitude that allow you to sharpen your mind, fortify your heart, and align your spirit. The world may mistake your silence for weakness, but those who understand true power will recognize it for what it is: strength in disguise, wisdom in action, authority in preparation. Silence is not the absence of voice, it is the presence of power. And when the moment comes for you to speak, act, or lead, the world will listen, not because you shouted, but because your silence has already spoken volumes. There is a truth in life that cannot be ignored. Experience commands respect, not titles, not appearances, not empty words or flashy displays. True respect is earned through experience. It is forged in the fires of trials, tempered by the challenges we endure, and solidified by the lessons we learn along the way. Experience speaks in a language that no argument, no performance, and no act of persuasion can replicate. When you have walked through the storms, faced the struggles, and emerged on the other side stronger, wiser, and more resilient, you carry an authority that commands respect, whether the world is ready to acknowledge it or not. Experience is the teacher that cannot be duplicated in books or classrooms. You can study principles, read strategies, and learn techniques. Nothing prepares you for life like first-hand experience. When you have been tested by adversity, faced betrayal, weathered failures, and still stood firm, you gain an understanding that cannot be faked. You gain discernment, patience, and insight that only come when you have been through the fire. When people recognize that depth of experience, they cannot help but respect it. Authority rooted in experience is earned, not demanded. It is a silent declaration that says, I have been here, I have seen it, I have endured it, I know what I am doing. Consider the woman who has faced heartbreak and loss yet continues to rise. Consider the person who has been overlooked, underestimated, and underestimated again, but still perseveres. These individuals do not need to shout their achievements. Their experiences speak for them. Their resilience, their wisdom, their ability to navigate challenges with grace, all of these communicate strength and command respect. The world may not have witnessed every trial, but it can sense the depth of knowledge and authority in those who have endured and overcome. Experience also teaches humility. Those who have faced hardship understand that life is not always predictable and that strength does not come from arrogance, but from resilience. They recognize the value of patience, the importance of timing, and the necessity of thoughtful action. Humility is not weakness. It is a mark of someone seasoned by experience. And humility, coupled with wisdom, commands far more respect than boastful words ever could. People naturally gravitate toward those who know their worth, respect the journey, act with integrity because they have learned from the lessons life has given them. Experience cultivates discernment. When you have faced difficult decisions, navigated complicated relationships, and survived moments of doubt, you develop a keen ability to read situations, people, and opportunities accurately. You learn to differentiate between those who support your growth and those who seek to hinder it. You learn to spot traps, avoid unnecessary conflict, make choices that align with long-term purpose rather than short-term gain. This discernment makes your words, actions, and presence far more influential because people trust those who have been tested and proven capable of navigating life's complexities. Experience commands respect because it shapes character. Anyone can claim knowledge, claim insight, or claim success. But it is experience that molds integrity, builds patience, and fortifies resilience. When you have faced trials, resisted temptation, and remained committed to your principles, people notice. Your character becomes evident in how you respond under pressure, how you treat others, and how you make decisions when no one is watching. Respect follows naturally when experience has shaped a person into someone reliable, steadfast, and wise. Moreover, experience produces confidence that cannot be shaken. Confidence is not simply believing in yourself. It is knowing, based on evidence, that you can handle life's challenges. When you have lived through the storms, recovered from setbacks, and emerged stronger each time, you develop an inner assurance that radiates outward. People respect confidence that is grounded in experience, not arrogance. It is a quiet, deniable force that inspires trust and inspires others to follow. Experience also builds resilience. Life will test you repeatedly, but every trial survived. Every lesson learned, every challenge overcome strengthens your capacity to endure future storms. This resilience is magnetic. People respect those who have survived difficulties because they understand that enduring hardship requires strength, Courage and perseverance. Person seasoned by experience becomes a beacon of hope for others, demonstrating that struggles are not the end of the story, but stepping stones to greatness. Another dimension of experience is perspective. Those who have faced both failure and success gain a broader view of life. They understand that no setback is permanent, no success is absolute, and that life's challenges are opportunities for growth rather than punishment. Perspective commands respect because it allows a person to remain calm under pressure, to make informed decisions, and to respond rather than react. When the world witnesses a leader who operates from perspective, they recognize wisdom that comes from living, learning, and enduring. Experience commands respect because it produces results. Knowledge without application is empty. Strategy without action is hollow. When someone with experience applies lessons learned, navigates challenges skillfully, and consistently produces positive outcomes, respect follows naturally. The world may question, doubt, or criticize, but consistent, tangible results speak louder than words ever could. Those who rely on experience understand the value of patience, perseverance, and strategic action, and their accomplishments serve as undeniable proof of their authority. Finally, experience builds legacy. The lessons learned, the strength developed, and the wisdom gained do not only impact the individual, they impact everyone around them. Experience equips leaders to mentor, guide, and influence others effectively. It allows them to leave a lasting imprint because they can speak from a place of knowledge and understanding. Respect grows not only for what someone has achieved, but for the value they provide through their experience. People naturally follow, trust, honor those who have walked the path, overcome obstacles, and are willing to share what they have learned. So to everyone listening today, honor your experiences. Do not belittle the lessons you have learned or the struggles you have faced. Every challenge you endured, every failure you overcame, every success you achieved in the face of adversity has equipped you with a voice, authority, and power that cannot be ignored. Experience commands respect. It cannot be purchased, it cannot be faked, and it cannot be inherited. It must be earned through living, learning, and enduring. Remember this: the next time someone doubts you, questions your authority, or underestimates your presence, let your experience speak. Let it shape your actions, guide your decisions, and strengthen your confidence. Respect is not demanded, it is earned, and nothing earns respect more than experience. Tested, refined, proven through the trials of life. Walk boldly with the knowledge that your experiences have prepared you. Speak with the authority that comes from wisdom. Act with the assurance that comes from resilience. Know that the respect you desire is not a gift from the world. It is a reflection of the journey you have endured and the lessons you have mastered. Experience commands respect, and your life is the testimony that proves it. There is a truth that cannot be denied in life. Words are easy. Anyone can speak. Anyone can make promises, boast about potential, or proclaim intentions. But results are a different story. Results are the proof that backs up what words attempt to claim. Results are the manifestation of effort, discipline, and commitment. They are the visible, deniable evidence that someone has done what they said they would do. Words may inspire, but results prove. And in a world full of talkers, it is those who produce tangible outcomes who command respect, influence, and authority. Many people are enamored with words. They are captivated by speeches, slogans, and promises. But words, no matter how eloquent, do not move mountains. Words, no matter how persuasive, do not create wealth, influence, or legacy. It is the work behind the words, the persistence behind the plans, and the consistent action behind the promises that produces results. Results are tangible. Results cannot be fabricated. Results leave a mark that words alone cannot achieve. Consider this: a person may speak about their dreams, their goals, their vision for years, but until those words are acted upon, they remain empty, hollow, and unconvincing. The person who quietly works, who perseveres, who refuses to be distracted by criticism, envy, or doubt, their results become their testimony. And it is these results that speak louder than any speech ever could. They say, without arrogance or exaggeration, I have done it. I have overcome. I have achieved. The world cannot ignore results because results are proof. Results are also a reflection of character. Talk may be cheap. Results reveal integrity, discipline, and resilience. Someone may promise loyalty, excellence, or commitment. It is only through consistent outcomes that these qualities are verified. The world respects those who act with purpose, who follow through on commitments, and who deliver outcomes even when the journey is difficult. Results are the measure of credibility. They show that a person is not defined by words, but by deeds. Furthermore, results command influence. People follow those who produce, who deliver, and who demonstrate that their actions matter. Influence is not given to those who merely talk about potential. It is earned by those whose actions create tangible, positive change. The person who achieves results in business, relationships, personal growth, or leadership establishes authority. Their presence alone becomes a standard, and their actions inspire others to take notice and align with their vision. There is also a strategic advantage in letting results speak for you. Words can be challenged, doubted, or misinterpreted. Words can be ignored or dismissed. But results are undeniable. They are proof in the physical world of your dedication, effort, and skill. When you focus on producing outcomes rather than promoting yourself through talk, you cultivate credibility that cannot be easily questioned. You create a reputation that precedes you. People will know you for what you accomplish, not for what you claim. Results require patience, discipline, and consistency. Unlike words, which can be spoken in a moment, results are the product of persistent effort over time. They are born out of early mornings, late nights, repeated failures, and relentless dedication. Every small step, every disciplined action, every decision to persevere contributes to the final outcome. And when the results finally manifest, they carry the weight of a journey, a struggle, and a commitment that commands attention. Another aspect of results is accountability. Words are easily forgotten. Actions are recorded in life's ledger. When you produce results, you demonstrate responsibility, reliability, and maturity. You show the world that you are not defined by excuses, delays, or distractions. You show that you are capable of taking ownership of your life, your decisions, and your outcomes. Results are the ultimate measure of accountability, and they naturally attract respect, trust, and admiration. Results also inspire confidence. People are naturally drawn to those who can deliver. When someone consistently produces results, others feel secure following their leadership, aligning with their vision, or trusting their judgment. Confidence is contagious, and results are the foundation of that confidence. They provide proof not only to the world, but also to yourself that your actions matter, your effort counts, and your life is aligned with purpose. Additionally, results cultivate legacy. Words fade, speeches are forgotten, promises are often left unfulfilled, but results leave a mark that lasts. The impact of your work, the outcomes of your dedication, and the influence of your achievements ripple beyond your immediate presence. Results create a foundation for the next generation. They set a standard for excellence. They demonstrate what is possible when effort meets discipline, vision meets action, and faith meets execution. Results are the language of lasting influence. It is also important to understand that results often require sacrifice. They demand focus, discipline, and sometimes isolation. While others may chase popularity, recognition, or instant gratification, those committed to producing results understand that delayed gratification produces outcomes that last. They are willing to work quietly, endure setbacks, and remain consistent when others are distracted or discouraged. The results they achieve become a testimony of their commitment, a reflection of their tenacity, proof that success is not an accident. It is a product of intentional effort. Focus on results. Do not be seduced by empty talk, applause, or temporary recognition. Do not be distracted by comparisons or the need to prove yourself through words. Let your actions, your discipline, outcomes speak on your behalf. Work diligently, consistently, and with purpose. Produce results that cannot be ignored, achievements that cannot be disputed, and influence that cannot be denied. Words can inspire for a moment, but results leave a legacy. Results are proof. Results speak volumes. Results create authority. Results inspire trust. And results define the life you are living. When you focus on results, you are no longer at the mercy of perception. You are creating reality. You are building credibility. You are establishing influence. You are leaving a mark that words alone could never achieve. In the end, let your life be a testament to the power of results. Work in silence, persevere through trials, and take consistent action towards your goals. The world may doubt, question, or underestimate you. Your results will speak louder than any criticism, louder than any skepticism, and louder than any empty promise. The proof of your strength, your wisdom, your purpose will be undeniable. Results speak louder than words. They are the evidence of preparation, the manifestation of discipline, and the legacy of perseverance. Your words may open doors, but your results will ensure that they remain open, respected, and impactful. Your life speak for you. Let your actions define you, and let your results command the respect, influence, and authority you deserve. There is a lesson in life that cannot be ignored. Adversity is not a wall meant to stop you. It is a stepping stone meant to elevate you. Every trial, every setback, every moment of struggle is not punishment. It is preparation. It is shaping you, strengthening you, and equipping you for the life you are destined to live. Adversity is not meant to defeat you. It is meant to refine you. It is meant to teach you resilience, endurance, and wisdom. It is meant to prepare you for the victories that lie ahead. The truth is, life is not a smooth path. If it were, we would never discover the strength, courage, and power that lie dormant within us. Adversity is the testing ground of character. It is the forge where patience is tempered, determination is sharpened, and faith is strengthened. Those who embrace adversity understand that setbacks are not the end of the story. They are the foundation for something greater. Every challenge you face, every obstacle you overcome becomes a stepping stone to higher levels of success, influence, and impact. Consider the moments when life has been hardest. Pain, the disappointment, the failures, they feel overwhelming in the moment. But these are the very moments that teach lessons that comfort, success, ease never could. Adversity exposes weaknesses, pushes boundaries, and reveals the depth of our resilience. It forces us to dig deeper than we ever thought possible. And when we emerge on the other side, stronger, wiser, and more capable, we realize that what we once saw as a setback was actually a setup for our breakthrough. Adversity also cultivates humility. When life tests us, it reminds us that we are not invincible, that we need guidance, and that our strength comes from both within and beyond ourselves. Humility allows us to learn, to grow, and to appreciate the journey. Those who have faced challenges and persevered develop a perspective that cannot be faked or taught. It is earned. People naturally respect those who have walked through storms and emerged victorious because they know that the lessons learned in struggle are far more valuable than those learned in comfort. Every great achievement in history is rooted in adversity. Every leader, innovator, and visionary has faced obstacles that seemed insurmountable. Every story of triumph carries the echoes of struggle. The person who succeeds does not do so because life was easy. They succeed because they refuse to be defeated by difficulty. They understood that adversity is a teacher, a guide, and a stepping stone. They used it to learn, to grow, and to prepare for the victories that would define their life. Adversity also strengthens resilience. Life will not always be fair, and challenges will not always make sense. But every time you face a challenge and choose to keep moving, you are building a muscle that cannot be broken. Resilience is developed in the crucible of adversity. It is the ability to rise after being knocked down, to continue when others give up, to maintain hope when the world seems dark. Resilience transforms adversity from an obstacle into a stepping stone. It allows you to see opportunities where others see only barriers. Moreover, adversity sharpens discernment. When you face challenges, you are forced to make choices, prioritize wisely, and distinguish between what is temporary and what is eternal. You learn to separate what matters from what is trivial, who is supportive from who is harmful, which paths are aligned with your purpose from which paths are distractions. This discernment is invaluable in life. It ensures that when opportunities arise, you are ready to seize them, make wise decisions, and continue your journey with clarity and confidence. faith and hope are also strengthened through adversity. When life seems unbearable, when the road is long and the nights are lonely, those who endure learn to trust a higher purpose. They learn that setbacks are temporary, that storms have seasons, and that perseverance yields rewards. Adversity forces us to rely on faith, patience, and inner strength. It teaches us that our journey is bigger than any single obstacle, and that every trial carries within it the seed of triumph. Adversity is not only personal growth, it is preparation for leadership. People are drawn to those who have overcome challenges because they recognize strength, wisdom, and authority in those who have faced the storms. A leader who has never experienced difficulty may speak eloquently, but one who has endured and triumphed commands respect. People follow those who understand struggle because they know they are guided by someone who has real life insight, courage, and resilience. Adversity prepares us to lead with empathy, perspective, and vision. Another crucial lesson is that adversity encourages innovation when resources are limited. Obstacles appear insurmountable or paths are blocked. Adversity forces creativity. It requires problem-solving, critical thinking, and a willingness to take risks. Many of the greatest breakthroughs and successes are born out of challenges that demand unconventional solutions. When you view adversity as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block, you unlock potential within yourself that otherwise might have remained dormant. Finally, adversity teaches gratitude. After enduring struggles, we learn to value growth, opportunity, and success more deeply. We appreciate the journey, the lessons learned, and the strength gained. Gratitude turns challenges into blessings and trials into testimonies. It allows us to look back and say, I would not be who I am today if I had not faced what I faced. Every hardship has been a stepping stone to my success. This perspective transforms life. It empowers us to embrace challenges rather than fear them, and to see every obstacle as an opportunity for growth. Do not fear adversity. Do not resent the challenges that come your way. Do not see setbacks as failure. Instead, view adversity as a stepping stone, a necessary part of your journey toward greatness. Every trial you face, every obstacle you overcome, every moment of difficulty is shaping you, preparing you, and equipping you for the life you are destined to live. The strongest, most influential, most respected individuals are those who have faced adversity and risen above it. They are the ones who have learned resilience, discernment, faith, humility through struggle. They are the ones who understand that every obstacle carries a lesson, every challenge contains opportunity, every setback is a setup for breakthrough. Adversity is not your enemy, it is your teacher. It is not your limitation, it is your ladder. It is not the end of your story, it is the beginning of your victory. Step on it, learn from it, rise above it. Let it propel you to heights you never thought possible. The stepping stones of adversity are your path to greatness. The world will recognize your triumph when you emerge stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. There is a lesson in life that far too many people struggle to learn. The world will never fully approve of you. No matter how hard you try, no matter how much you conform, no matter how often you seek validation, always be someone who doubts, criticizes, or misunderstands you. And yet the power of life does not lie in approval. It lies in authenticity. True success, fulfillment, and influence come not from the applause of the crowd, but from the courage to be yourself, to honor your convictions, to walk your path with integrity, even when no one else agrees. Authenticity is the quiet strength that cannot be faked. It is rooted in knowing who you are, what you stand for, and the purpose that drives your actions. When you choose authenticity over approval, you are saying, I will not compromise my truth to satisfy the expectations of others. I will not dilute my vision to gain popularity. I will honor my journey, even if the world does not understand it. And there is power in that kind of courage. Approval may come and go, but authenticity creates a legacy that lasts. Consider the life of the person who constantly seeks approval. Their every move is dictated by the opinions of others. Their decisions are filtered through fear, doubt, and the desire to be liked. They speak words they do not believe, make choices that contradict their values, and live a life that feels hollow. They are exhausted by the weight of trying to satisfy everyone, yet they achieve little in a meaningful sense because true power and influence cannot be built on the shifting sands of approval. On the other hand, the person who embraces authenticity walks with freedom. They are not enslaved to the judgments of others. They act with confidence because their actions are aligned with their beliefs and their purpose. They speak truth even when it's unpopular, stand firm even when isolated, and lead with integrity because their foundation is unshakable. People naturally respect and are drawn to authenticity. Approval may be fleeting, but authenticity commands lasting admiration and influence. Authenticity also fosters inner peace. When you stop trying to please everyone, you release yourself from the constant stress of judgment and criticism. You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop chasing approval that may never come. Instead, you focus on living a life of purpose, aligning your actions with your values, pursuing goals that matter to you. This inner peace is a powerful force. It allows you to make decisions with clarity, act with confidence, live with joy, free from the burden of others' expectations. Moreover, authenticity builds trust. People can sense when someone is genuine versus when they are performing for approval. A leader, a friend, or a professional who is authentic inspires confidence because their actions match their words. They are consistent, reliable, and true to themselves. This consistency builds credibility. Approval may attract temporary attention, but authenticity attracts loyalty, respect, and long-term influence. The person who lives authentically does not need to manipulate perception. They naturally command respect because their truth cannot be hidden. Choosing authenticity over approval also empowers growth. When you are authentic, you are free to make mistakes, learn from them, and improve without fear of losing status or admiration. When you rely on approval, you limit yourself, you avoid risks, stay in safe spaces, and stunt your potential because fear of judgment dominates your choices. But authenticity encourages boldness, resilience, and courage. It allows you to take the necessary steps toward your purpose, even when the path is challenging, unpopular, or misunderstood. Growth thrives in authenticity because it is untethered from the constraints of external validation. There is also a spiritual dimension to authenticity. When you honor your true self, you align with the purpose you were created for. You step into your unique calling, your God-given or innate strengths, your mission in life. Seeking approval often diverts energy away from this alignment. It can lead to compromise, distraction, deviation from your true path. Authenticity, however, grounds you in your purpose. It allows you to walk boldly, knowing that your life's value is not measured by others' opinions, but by your faithfulness to your calling and the impact you make. Authenticity over approval also builds resilience in the face of criticism. The world will always have opinions. The louder the voices seeking to control, judge, or diminish you, the more important it becomes to stand in your truth. Authenticity gives you the strength to withstand criticism without losing direction. Approval seeking makes you vulnerable to the every fluctuating opinion, but authenticity allows you to remain steadfast, unwavering, focused on the bigger picture. Those who live authentically do not crumble under disapproval. They rise stronger and continue on their path with confidence. Furthermore, authenticity creates influence that cannot be replicated. When you live true to yourself, you inspire others to do the same. People are drawn to genuine individuals because authenticity resonates with the human spirit. Your courage to stand in your truth encourages others to release the fear of judgment, to embrace their own purpose, and to act boldly. Authenticity multiplies impact. It is contagious. Approval may grant temporary followers. Authenticity creates leaders and visionaries who inspire lasting change. Finally, authenticity over approval ensures that your legacy is real and meaningful. Words and appearances can be forgotten. Approval can fade, but a life lived authentically leaves a footprint that endures. Your decisions, actions, and impact reflect who you truly are, and that is what future generations will remember. A legacy built on approval alone is fragile and shallow. Legacy built on authenticity is unshakable, respected, and celebrated. So, to everyone listening today, choose authenticity over approval. Be willing to stand alone if necessary. Speak your truth even when it is unpopular. Make decisions based on your values, not the expectations of others. Pursue your purpose with courage, integrity, and unwavering faith. Do not measure your worth by how many people validate you. Measure it by how closely you align with your true self, your purpose, and your potential. The world may not always approve of you, but the right people, right opportunities, and the right impact will follow you when you are authentic. Approval is fleeting. Authenticity is enduring. Approval can be given and taken away. Authenticity cannot be taken. It is yours forever. The more you embrace who you truly are, the more your life influence and legacy will flourish. There is a truth in life that is often overlooked. The battles you fight in private shape the victories you celebrate in public. Every moment of struggle, every tear shed in silence, every internal war you wage without applause is laying the foundation for your triumphs. Private healing is the crucible in which character is forged, strength is strengthened, and resilience is cultivated. It is not in the public eye that greatness is built. It is in the quiet, unseen work of transformation that your future triumphs are prepared. Healing in private is powerful because it is authentic. The world may see success, but it rarely sees the journey, the wounds, the scars, the emotional and spiritual battles that tested your very core. These private moments of healing are where self-awareness, growth, and wisdom are nurtured. They are the moments when you confront your fears, release pain, forgive those who hurt you, and reclaim your power. Every private act of restoration equips you to operate with authority, confidence, and grace when you step into the public arena. Consider the person who has endured betrayal, disappointment, or failure. On the surface, they may appear strong, composed, and unaffected. Beneath that exterior lies a story of inner work, of facing pain, and of choosing healing over bitterness. This private healing is what allows them to respond with wisdom rather than anger, to lead with empathy rather than control, to rise to heights that would have been impossible without the depth of their transformation. Public triumphs are not accidents. They are the natural outcome of private healing. Private healing also builds resilience. Life will challenge you, and the trials you face are unavoidable. But the healing you pursue in private equips you to handle public pressures with poise and strength. When you have worked through your pain, confronted your insecurities, and addressed the wounds that seek to define you, you emerge ready to navigate the demands of leadership, influence, and public responsibility. Your resilience becomes a silent testimony to your strength, one that commands respect, inspires confidence, ensures that your triumphs are lasting rather than fleeting. Healing in private fosters clarity. Pain and emotional baggage cloud judgment, distort perception, and limit potential. When you take the time to reflect, process, and heal in private, you gain clarity about who you are, what you want, you are capable of achieving. This clarity allows you to make strategic decisions, recognize opportunities, and pursue your goals with intention. Triumphs require more than effort. They require discernment, vision, and the ability to navigate complexity. Private healing equips you with the insight necessary to transform challenges into opportunities and setbacks into stepping stones. Furthermore, private healing cultivates humility and empathy. The person who has experienced struggle knows the weight of pain. They understand vulnerability and human imperfection. This understanding allows them to lead with compassion, connect authentically with others, and inspire those around them. Public triumphs are not just measured by success. They are measured by the positive impact you have on people, the difference you make in your community, and the influence you exert with integrity. Healing in private allows you to lead with empathy and authenticity, creating a legacy that transcends personal achievement. Another dimension of private healing is empowerment. Every time you confront fear, release resentment, overcome self-doubt, you reclaim a part of your power. You learn that your past does not define your future, that mistakes are lessons rather than labels, that your worth is inherent, not contingent upon external validation. This empowerment is transformative. When you step into public life, radiates through your presence, decisions, and leadership. People sense it, they respect it, and it becomes the driving force behind your public triumphs. Private healing also strengthens emotional intelligence. It teaches you to manage your emotions, communicate effectively, and respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. These skills are invaluable in the public arena. Success in leadership, influence, relationships is rarely determined solely by talent or knowledge. It is determined by emotional maturity, interpersonal understanding, ability to navigate complex social dynamics. Private healing develops these qualities, ensuring that your public triumphs are sustainable, impactful, respected. Moreover, private healing prepares you for spiritual alignment. When you take the time to heal emotionally and mentally, you create space for spiritual growth and guidance. You learn to trust, to surrender control, and to walk in alignment with a higher purpose. Public triumphs are not simply the result of hard work. They are the outcome of intentional alignment with destiny, purpose, and principle. Healing in private clears the obstacles that prevent you from fully embracing your calling, allowing your public achievements to reflect not just personal ambition, but divine purpose. Resilience, clarity, empathy, empowerment, alignment all converge in private healing to produce public triumphs that are not superficial, but substantial. The difference between temporary success and enduring impact is often invisible to the world. It is the quiet, unseen work, the inner transformation, the emotional breakthroughs, and the mental fortitude that ensures your victories withstand challenges, criticism, and adversity. Private healing equips you with the tools to not only achieve success, but to maintain it with dignity and integrity. Finally, private healing teaches gratitude and perspective. When you have faced pain and worked through it, you do not take success for granted. You appreciate your achievements more deeply because you understand the effort, struggle, and growth required to reach them. Public triumphs become meaningful because they are rooted in a journey of self-discovery, perseverance, and transformation. You are not just celebrating an outcome, you are celebrating the person you became in the process. Authenticity resonates with everyone who witnesses your success. So, to everyone listening today, do not underestimate the importance of private healing. Do not rush through pain, ignore emotional wounds, or avoid introspection. The time you spend in reflection, restoration, and renewal is not wasted. It is the preparation for greatness. Your public triumphs will not be hollow or superficial if they are built upon the foundation of private healing. They will be authentic, resilient, impactful, enduring. Every victory in the public eye is preceded by work in the private heart. Every leadership moment, every influence, every breakthrough is the result of healing, growth, and transformation behind the scenes. Do the inner work, confront your pain, release what binds you, reclaim your power, and when the time comes, your public triumphs will not only be inevitable, they will be unstoppable.